Hey guys, hope you're doing well. So, it's true, I'm going through a bit of a content drought right now. Now I do have some cool things in the pipeline, but nothing I can really share right now. So in a classic YouTuber cliche, I'm going to share with you guys some of the gear that I use as a small YouTuber to make my videos. First up is this beast of a tripod from a company I've never heard of called Kea. It's built like a tank, it can extend all the way up to almost 2 meters or well over 6 feet, which means I can get shots like this. It also has a built-in fluid head which allows me to pan and tilt smoothly, or well, sort of smoothly. It's not the best, it could be better, but you can't buy a Skoda and expect a Rolls Royce. Anyway, it gets the job done. I do also have a compact tripod from Manfrotto, which is much more practical for taking it with me because it doesn't weigh much and it can fit easily into my backpack. So this tripod is really easy to extend and retract because of this twist lock mechanism here, and a cool feature about it is that the legs go almost horizontally, which lets me get pretty close to the ground. Stability is okay, but not great, and using the head for tilting or panning isn't ideal either, so I mostly use this for static shots and preferably without any wind. Now, I do like the design of this tripod, but I don't think the Manfrotto badge really adds anything in this case. I have seen this design of tripod all over the internet, and you can probably get yourself a very similar tripod to this one whilst paying a lot less money. So I recommend you do that. Then we have this cool thing called the Pixel G1S, and it's basically an RGB video light that helps me to add a bit of color to my videos. So I mostly use this when I'm getting some B-roll footage of products and I want to have a bit of extra color just to make the scene look a bit nicer. It has a built-in battery and it charges over USB-C, and I was really impressed by the build quality of this thing. It's really solid. I mean, it feels like you could murder someone with it. To be clear, I haven't actually tried that. I'm just assuming that it would work quite well. Next, I have a new microphone, which I'm literally using to record right now, so I will instead cut to some footage of it, but it's called the Synco Mic-D2, and it's basically supposed to be a low-budget version of the Sennheiser MKH416, which is sort of a legendary microphone in the videography space, and it's used by a lot of the top YouTubers, and it's very expensive. So this is sort of a budget version of that. I have noticed that it does sound better than my old shotgun microphone, which was the Rode NTG2. But to be honest, I've also realized that my biggest problem is the acoustics in this room. So I need to fix that. It's more important you fix your recording environment than you just have the best gear. So keep that in mind, guys. So yeah, I don't have enough stuff around on my walls, which means that sound bounces around and creates reverb. Maybe you can hear that, but yeah, it doesn't sound great. So my next project is to fix that. Maybe I will build something with some kind of DIY solution, or maybe I will just buy something. I haven't decided yet. So the lens I'm using right now is the Panasonic Leica 8 to 18mm f2.8 to f4. Now this is a beautiful wide-angle lens made specifically for micro four thirds cameras, and it is by far the biggest purchase I have made for this YouTube channel. Now this lens allows me to sit as close to the camera as possible, which also means I sit as close to my microphone as possible, which helps to improve the audio quality as well. Now, aside from YouTube, I do also use this lens to do the occasional bit of photography because it is very good for landscape pictures. Now, I do also use 2 more lenses to make my videos. So the first one is the Panasonic Lumix 25mm f1.7. And this is a very fast lens which allows you to shoot in low light situations, but it also has a very shallow depth of field, which means you can get that nice blurry background image that you want to see in videos. And for like $100, in my opinion, this is a must-have lens if you're using a micro four thirds camera. Now there is another lens I use as well occasionally. So this is the Panasonic Lumix G35 to 100mm f2.8. So it's a long-range zoom lens. I actually purchased it for photography, but I do occasionally use it in my videos because this lens is stabilized, and that together with my stabilized camera means I can get more stable handheld shots in my videos. That being said, I wouldn't recommend that you buy this for making videos, at least not tech videos like I do, because I do most of my filming indoors. and this zoom lens is a little bit too long range for the kind of shots that I generally like to get. So my camera is the Panasonic G85, and this is an incredible little camera, especially for the price you pay. I have seen and used cameras that cost 4 to 5 times as much as this camera, and they have worse looking video quality. So I am really impressed with this camera. The only problem with it is, being a micro four thirds camera, it means that the sensor size is quite small, which means that it is not the best at getting low light footage, and in my apartment it is generally on the darker side. So for example, have a look at this footage that you're seeing right now. Do you see that graininess in the image? So that happens because I have to boost the ISO in the camera to bring up the brightness, but that also introduces this graininess which just doesn't really look that great. So hopefully, maybe someday I can get my hands on something like a full frame mirrorless camera like the Sony A7, but that is just way too expensive for me to even think about for now. So until I can do that, if I need some extra light in my videos, I use this thing. So this is called the Neewer LED Video Light, and it is a small compact solution that helps me to get some additional light for my videos. Now it is adjustable, although because of these deflectors or whatever they're called, not quite as adjustable as I would like it to be, but it gets the job done. And my favorite thing about it is that it is so compact. So before I had this light, I was using a massive softbox light with halogen lights, which not only took up loads of space, they also used loads of power, and they generated a lot of heat. So when I was sitting in front of it recording, I would often get quite hot and sweaty just because of those lights. The other cool thing about this light is that you can control both the brightness and the color temperature with these little knobs on the back here, which means you can get the white balancing correct for your video. Now, I won't cover my PC in detail. I have already done that in another video, which you can feel free to check out if you'd like. But if you are planning on shooting high resolution video like 4K video and you want to edit those clips together into something, you will need a machine that is powerful enough to handle all of that content, preferably with a dedicated graphics card. When it comes to software, I'm using Vegas Pro 15, which I have been using for well over a decade now, and I know it inside out. And that is the only reason I'm using it. Like, I would not recommend that you do that. This program crashes way too often. You have no idea how much work I have lost because I've been in the middle of editing. I forgot to hit the save button and then the program crashed. So one of my tasks this year is to learn how to use Adobe Premiere so I can finally make that switch, but I keep procrastinating and putting it off. So I need to hold myself accountable and just get it done. So I think that covers pretty much all of the interesting stuff. Obviously there's more that goes on behind the scenes. I buy lots of small things like SD card readers and additional storage when I need that, but those aren't really that interesting. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, it helps out the channel a ton. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.